The world is changing faster than ever. Every day, we see the headlines. Global debt has climbed to historic, almost unimaginable highs. Inflation, a silent thief, is eating away at our hard-earned savings, making it harder and harder to get by, let alone get ahead. And the very technology we once hailed as our salvation, the promise of a brighter future, now comes with a steep and devastating price. Millions of jobs, entire industries, are at risk of disappearing forever. We're living through an era of profound disruption. You can see it in the charts that flash across our screens. GDP growth slowing to a crawl in major economies. National debts spiraling upwards with no end in sight. We see it in the real world too. Factories once humming with activity now stand silent. Empty monuments to a bygone era. Robots, once the stuff of science fiction, are now on the assembly line, doing the jobs that people used to do. It's a relentless wave of automation, an AI-driven revolution that is fundamentally reshaping our workforce. And all of this is happening against a backdrop of increasing instability. The specter of war looms. Supply chains are strained to their breaking point, and climate change unleashes a torrent of natural disasters, from raging wildfires to devastating floods, compounding the pressure on our already fragile systems. The headlines scream at us. Rising debt, slowing growth, i.e., disruption, climate shifts. It feels like we're living in a world on the very edge of a precipice. The old certainties are gone, the old rules no longer apply, and the path forward seems shrouded in fog and uncertainty. Many people are feeling a deep sense of anxiety, a fear that the world they knew is slipping away, replaced by something colder, harsher, and more unforgiving. But let's pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. History teaches us a powerful lesson. In every era of crisis, in every moment of profound upheaval and turmoil, new opportunities are born. It's in the crucible of change that innovation flourishes. It's when the old ways crumble that new paths are forged. Think about it. The greatest leaps forward in human history have often come directly after the darkest times. The Renaissance emerged from the shadows of the Middle Ages. The technological boom of the 20th century rose from the ashes of 2 world wars and a Great Depression. Crises forces us to adapt, to think differently, to become more resilient. It's a catalyst for creativity and a powerful driver of progress. The challenges we face today are immense. There's no denying that. But they also present us with a once-in-a-generation chance to rebuild, to reinvent, and to create a better future. The question is not whether there will be opportunities, but who will be ready to see them and seize them. This brings us to the core of our discussion today. The concept of the fourth turning. It's a powerful theory, developed by historians William Strauss and Neil Howe, that suggests history moves in cycles, much like the seasons of the year. Each cycle, or cyclum, lasts about 80 to 100 years roughly, the length of a long human life, and each cycle is composed of 4 distinct turnings, each lasting about 20 years. The first turning is a high, an era of optimism and strong institutions after a crisis has just ended. Think of the post-World War II boom. Society is confident, collective-minded, and individuals conform to the greater good. The second is an awakening, a time of spiritual and social upheaval. The established order is questioned, and new values emerge. The counterculture of the 1960s and 70s is a classic example. The third is an unraveling, where institutions weaken and individualism is at its peak. Think of the culture wars and political polarization of the 1990s and early 2000s. Society becomes fragmented, cynical, and distrustful. And finally, there is the fourth turning. This is the era of crisis. It's a decisive period where the old social order is dismantled and a new one is created. It's a time of great peril, but also of great promise. The stakes are at their highest, and the choices we make during this period will define the world for generations to come. According to Strauss and Howe, we entered a fourth turning around the year 2008, with the global financial crisis. All the signs are there. The erosion of trust in institutions, the deep political divisions, the escalating global tensions, and the sense that we are hurtling towards a major confrontation or resolution. This isn't just about economics or politics. It's a fundamental reset of our society's mood, values, and direction. The world feels like it's coming apart at the seams, because, in a way, it is. The institutions and norms that have governed our lives for the past several decades are no longer holding. This is a scary and disorienting time for many. But understanding this cyclical pattern can be incredibly empowering. It provides a framework, a map for navigating the chaos. It tells us that this period of turmoil is not random, but part of a predictable historical rhythm. It also tells us that this crisis will end, and when it does, a new high will begin, a new era of stability and prosperity. The key is to position yourself now, during the storm, to thrive in the calm that follows. So, how do you do that? How do you not just survive a fourth turning, but actually come out ahead? The answer lies in identifying the assets and skills that will be most valuable in the new world being born. Historically, during these crisis periods, tangible assets tend to outperform financial ones. When trust in currency and financial systems wanes, people flock to things they can see and touch. Gold and silver, for example, have been a store of value for thousands of years, a safe haven in times of economic uncertainty. They are unsubject to the same inflationary pressures as paper money and QAUN, be devalued by government decree. Real estate, particularly productive land, is another key asset. It provides shelter, a source of food, and a tangible piece of the world that you own. But it's not just about hoarding physical goods. The most valuable asset of all might be something you already possess. Your skills in a rapidly changing world. Adaptability is everything. Skills that are future-proof, that can't be easily automated by AI, will be in high demand. This includes trades like carpentry, plumbing, and electrical work. It includes skills related to self-sufficiency, like farming, food, preservation, and basic mechanics. And it includes high-level cognitive skills, critical thinking, complex problem-solving, and creativity. The ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn will be the ultimate superpower in the decades to come. Let's dig deeper into the investment side. While traditional stocks and bonds may face headwinds in a high inflation, low growth environment, certain sectors are poised for explosive growth. The energy transition is one. The shift away from fossil fuels to renewables is not just an environmental imperative. It's one of the biggest economic transformations in history. Investing in companies involved in solar, wind, battery technology, and the new energy grid could yield massive returns. Another area is decentralized technology. The rise of cryptocurrencies and blockchain is a direct response to the declining trust in centralized financial institutions. While volatile, these technologies offer a potential alternative, a financial system that is more transparent, resilient, and resistant to censorship and manipulation. Finally, think about industries that are essential, no matter what happens in the wider economy. Agriculture and food production, water infrastructure, healthcare. These are sectors that will always be in demand. By focusing on real, tangible value and the fundamental needs of society, you can build a portfolio that is not just resilient but anti-fragile, one that actually gets stronger from shocks and volatility. But let's be clear, this is not just about financial preparation. It's about building personal and community resilience. The strongest communities are those where people know their neighbors, where they can rely on each other in times of need. Start building your network now. Get involved in local groups. Learn from others and share your own skills. Create a support system of family and friends who you can count on when things get tough. This social capital is just as important, if not more so, than financial capital. On a personal level, focus on your health, both physical and mental. A strong body and a clear mind are your greatest assets for navigating stress and uncertainty. And cultivate a mindset of optimism and agency. It's easy to fall into despair when you look at the state of the world. But remember, you have the power to shape your own destiny. Every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. By taking proactive steps today, by building your skills, investing wisely, and strengthening your community, you are not just preparing for a crisis. You are actively building the foundation for a better future for yourself and for those you care about. This is your chance to turn the great challenges of our time into your greatest opportunities. Look around you. The world is on the brink of a monumental shift, a transformation so profound it will redefine wealth, power, and our very way of life. We're not talking about a distant future. We're talking about the next 5 years. From 2026 to 2030, a new economic era will dawn, and it will be forged in the crucible of 3 powerful forces: artificial intelligence, green energy, and the unstoppable tide of demographic change. This isn't just another trend report. This is a roadmap to the next global chapter, a guide to understanding the crises and opportunities that lie just over the horizon. The question is no longer if change is coming, but whether you'll be a spectator or a participant. Will you see the challenges, or will you seize the immense opportunities? Let's begin with the first and most disruptive force: artificial intelligence. For decades, AI was the stuff of science fiction. Today, it's the engine of our economy. But what we've seen so far is just the prelude. The next 5 years will witness an explosion in AI's capabilities, moving from simple automation to true cognitive partnership. Imagine AI not just as a tool, but as a co-worker, a strategist, and a creative collaborator in every industry. In manufacturing, AI-powered robotics will create hyper-efficient factories, capable of producing customized goods on demand with near zero defects. Supply chains once vulnerable to disruption will become self-healing networks, with AI predicting bottlenecks and rerouting shipments in real time. This isn't just about cutting costs. It's about building a new level of resilience and agility into the backbone of global trade. But the impact goes far beyond the factory floor. In finance, AI algorithms will manage investment portfolios with a precision humans can only dream of, identifying market patterns invisible to the naked eye. In healthcare, AI will accelerate drug discovery, diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately, and create personalized treatment plans for millions. The creative industries won't be spared either. From composing music to generating blockbuster film scripts, AI is poised to become a powerful creative partner. This is the new industrial revolution, and it's happening at lightning speed. Countries and companies that lead in AI development and adoption will dominate the 21st century economy. Those that lag behind risk being left in a permanent state of catch-up. We're already seeing the battle lines being drawn, with nations pouring billions into AI research, talent acquisition, and infrastructure. The race for AI supremacy is not just a tech race, it's a geopolitical imperative. However, this revolution comes with its own set of challenges. The biggest question on everyone's mind: what about jobs? The truth is, AI will displace certain roles, particularly those based on repetitive tasks. But history teaches us that technological revolutions create more jobs than they destroy. The key is adaptation. The jobs of tomorrow will require skills like critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and creative problem solving, the very things that make us human. The challenge for governments and individuals is to invest in reskilling and lifelong learning, to prepare for this new world of work. The rise of AI also raises profound ethical questions. How do we ensure that AI systems are fair and unbiased? Who is responsible when an AI makes a mistake? How do we protect our privacy in a world where data is the new oil and AI is the refinery? These are not questions for technologists alone. They are questions for all of society. The regulatory frameworks we build in the next 5 years will determine whether AI serves humanity or creates a new digital divide. As we look towards 2030, one thing is clear: AI is the single most powerful economic force of our time. It promises a future of unprecedented productivity and innovation, but it also demands that we navigate its complexities with wisdom and foresight. Now, let's turn to the second pillar of our future economy: the green energy revolution. For over a century, our world has been powered by fossil fuels, but that era is rapidly coming to an end, driven by climate urgency, technological breakthroughs, and shifting consumer demand. The transition to clean energy is accelerating faster than anyone predicted. This isn't just about saving the planet, it's about unlocking one of the greatest economic opportunities in human history. At the heart of this revolution is solar power. The cost of solar panels has plummeted, making it the cheapest form of electricity in history in many parts of the world. We're seeing vast solar farms spring up in deserts and panels being integrated into everything from rooftops to windows. By 2030, solar, alongside wind power, will be the backbone of a new, decentralized energy grid. This shift empowers individuals and communities, reducing reliance on centralized power plants and volatile global energy markets. But the revolution doesn't stop at electricity generation. The transportation sector, a massive source of emissions, is undergoing a radical transformation. Electric vehicles are moving from a niche luxury to a mainstream reality. Battery technology is improving at an exponential rate, increasing range and decreasing charging times. Major automakers have committed to phasing out internal combustion engines, and cities around the world are redesigning their infrastructure to support an all-electric future. And then there's hydrogen. For years, green hydrogen was seen as a distant dream. but breakthroughs in electrolysis are making it a viable clean fuel for heavy industry, shipping, and aviation sectors that are difficult to electrify. Nations are now racing to become leaders in the emerging hydrogen economy, investing in production facilities and building new supply chains. The race to sustainability is on, and the economic stakes are enormous. The transition to green energy will create millions of new jobs in manufacturing, installation, grid management, and research. It will spawn entirely new industries, from advanced battery storage to carbon capture technology. It's a fundamental rewiring of our global infrastructure. An investment on a scale not seen since the post-war reconstruction. Of course, this transition won't be without its challenges. We need to build a new grid capable of handling intermittent renewable sources. We face a massive demand for critical minerals like lithium, cobalt, and copper, raising questions about supply chains and environmental impact. And we must ensure a just transition, supporting communities and workers who have historically depended on the fossil fuel industry. But the momentum is undeniable. The financial markets are already pricing in the risk of climate change and rewarding companies that embrace sustainability. Investors are pouring trillions of dollars into green bonds and ESG funds from 2026 to 2030. The green energy revolution will move from an alternative to the mainstream, creating new economic leaders and leaving the laggards behind. It is the engine of a cleaner, more resilient, and more prosperous global economy. Finally, we must address the most predictable yet often overlooked force shaping our future. Demographics. The shifting age structure of the global population is a hidden force, a slow-moving but powerful current that will fundamentally alter economies, societies, and geopolitical power. In many of the world's most advanced economies, from Japan to Germany to Italy, a profound change is underway. Populations are aging and, in some cases, shrinking. Falling birth rates and rising life expectancies are creating a demographic inversion. For the first time in modern history, there will be more people over the age of 65 than under the age of 15 in many countries. This has massive economic implications. A shrinking workforce can lead to labor shortages and slower economic growth. A larger population of retirees places immense strain on public finances, particularly pension systems and healthcare. This is the silver tsunami, and countries that fail to prepare will face a slow-motion economic crisis. But this challenge also presents new opportunities. The silver economy is poised to become one of the largest and fastest-growing markets in the world. There will be huge demand for new products and services tailored to older adults, from advanced telehealth and in-home care to accessible travel and lifelong learning platforms. Innovations in robotics and AI will be crucial to assist with elder care, allowing people to live independently for longer. In contrast, other parts of the world, particularly in Africa and South Asia, are experiencing a youth bulge. These regions have young, dynamic, and growing populations. This demographic dividend presents an incredible opportunity for rapid economic growth, innovation, and consumption. If these countries can invest in education and create enough jobs, they could become the new engines of the global economy. This demographic divergence will reshape the global landscape. It will shift centers of economic gravity, alter migration patterns, and redefine consumer markets. Companies will need to adapt their strategies, targeting different products and services to an aging customer base in one country and a young, digitally native population in another. The demographic shift is not a speculative trend. It's a mathematical certainty. The people who will be retiring or entering the workforce between 2026 and 2030 have already been born. How we respond to this hidden force, how we manage the challenges of aging and harness the potential of youth will be a defining feature of the next decade. It's a quiet revolution, but its impact will be just as profound as the rise of AI or the green energy transition. So, where does this leave us? We stand at a crossroads. The convergence of artificial intelligence, the green energy revolution, and powerful demographic shifts is creating a period of unprecedented change. The next 5 years will not be business as usual. They will be a period of intense competition, disruption, and reinvention. The old playbooks are obsolete. The strategies that built fortunes in the 20th century may lead to ruin in this new era. Success will belong to the agile, the adaptable, and the visionary, the nations, companies, and investors who can see the connections between these powerful forces and position themselves for the future. This is not a time for fear, but for foresight. It's a time to ask the hard questions. Is your business prepared for an AI-driven world? Is your investment portfolio aligned with a green energy transition? Is your country ready for the demographic reality that is already here? The next 5 years will test every nation and every investor. The question is not whether change will come, but whether you'll be ready for it. Crisis or opportunity, the choice is yours. Thank you for watching. Follow our channel for more deep dives into the trends, markets, and strategies that are shaping the future of our world and your wealth. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.